Welcome to Small Business Stories. I am Mike Downhour with the Monroe Chamber of Commerce with Quentin Durr from Louisiana Catalyst. Our special guest today, Dr. Kyle Nix, Twin City Chiropractic. And man, I tell you what, you have really made some great improvements in chiropractic care in our area. A couple of the things you do differently right off the bat. Tell us about those.
Well, a couple of things I do. I have a recovery area in my office where I've got the compression boots that help with like recovery from like legs and arms and stuff after workout, after running, things like that. I also have a deep tissue laser that can help heal soft tissue injuries a lot faster than they would heal on their own. So.
Now, this is something we don't normally get at a typical chiropractic place.
Right.
Tell me why you're offering it and who exactly will benefit from it.
Well, I offer it just because there's things that I felt like have been missing in like some offices that I've been a patient in or worked in before, where it's like, here's something that could speed up the healing time for a patient that maybe we don't offer. And a lot of people think that the recovery stuff is just for athletes, but you don't have to be an athlete to benefit from that. It could be somebody that stands on their feet all day long, or somebody that sits and doesn't get good circulation in their legs. That compression will help with the circulation and recovery. And then the soft tissue injuries, the laser will help. It could be somebody with carpal tunnel that's sitting at a desk. You don't have to be an athlete to be able to use that. Now, athletes do benefit, like with shoulder injuries and things like that. We have seen the recovery time for injuries speed up a lot faster doing that. So
I'm checking a lot of them boxes, sitting down, typing, like check. So I'm curious. So you spent all this time obviously in school and getting your education, but from all that, what made you jump into wanting to run a business? Because that's another headache.
Well, I've been out of chiropractic school for 12 years and I've never had worked for myself. And that was really my goal going back to school was I want to own my own business. I want to be my own boss and treat patients like a certain way. Like right. In my mind, here's the model I want to use. And so it just over the course of those 12 years of being a chiropractor, I'd never been able to implement my plan and what I wanted to do. And so I was like, okay, now's the time I can start trying to put the pieces together and do the things I want to help people get better and live a healthy life.
See, I think not a knock against anybody else, but like those who take that initiative, you can tell are passionate about what they do. Which we just met, but I already know I can assume I'm going to get great care at your place because that is why you went in, is that customer experience.
Yeah. And that's something that I also try to spend time with each patient when they come in. Like, okay, everybody starts at a different point. You could come in because you're in pain. You could just come in because you're like, hey, I know I have a history of this in my family. I want to prevent something from getting worse. Or you can come in from the performance aspect of, hey, I'm a marathoner or I'm a high school athlete and I want to make sure my body's performing as it should. So it's like I try to meet everybody wherever they are along that path and put together a plan based on, okay, here's what you want. Here's your goal. Let's put together a plan to get you there. And that could be with the recovery stuff. It could be with the chiropractic care. It could be a combination of the two. And that's really what my passion is trying to figure out what each person wants and then put together a plan to help them get that.
Talk a little bit about how people can find you. Where are you located? We know you've not been on Forsyth for 12 years. Talk a little bit about your education and where you are now.
Okay. Well, originally I was an athletic trainer. I did that for 8 years. I worked at West Monroe High School. I worked at Richwood High School before I went back to chiropractic school. And then I worked in Dallas after school for 5 years and moved back here. And I worked at the Joint Chiropractic on Forsyth for about a little over 4 years. And I'm located on Forsyth now, closer towards Neville. So I'm in the little shopping center right there by Cormier's. So next to Daily Harvest. That's where I'm at. So that's kind of, I live in Monroe and I wanted to stay close to where I live. And so that's kind of where I ended up.
And we appreciate that. We like, people not moving away. Yeah. They stay here. They take care of Monroe and Northeast Louisiana people. And that's what we need more of, is that. So talk about how somebody calls in and comes by, take us through how you determine their chiropractic care.
Okay. So, first step we would do when they come in, I'm going to look at their posture and assess their posture because a lot of times...
Let me sit up straight here.
Because a lot of times people may be slouched over and they don't realize that they're slouched over because they can't see themselves other than somebody telling them, hey, stand up straight. So we look at the posture from different angles to be like, okay, what does it look like? Are there certain things that exercises we need to do to help with that, to correct that so your spine doesn't get worse? Then if we need x-rays, then we'll get x-rays taken to determine, okay, your posture looks like this, but what does your spine look like? And if we need to do like corrective exercises for their posture with the adjustments, or if we need to do traction, like let's say they've had an old whiplash injury, like in a car accident, and nothing's ever been done about it, and their neck is going the opposite direction than it should be, then we can do traction to pull the curve in their neck to decrease that arthritis, decrease the degeneration of the bulging disc from happening in there. So chiropractic standpoint, that's what I'm looking at is like, okay, what's the posture look like? Then if we need x-rays, let's get x-rays and then put together like, okay, you want to be able to pick up your grandkids. You want to be able to throw the ball with your son outside. Let's figure out what may be causing you not to be able to do that. So we can figure out the plan of exercises. And two, my goal is once we get them to a certain point, I want them to start doing their exercises and things like that at home, because ultimately it's kind of like when you get braces on your teeth. If you don't wear your retainer, your teeth are going to get crooked again. So it's like if you're not doing the stuff to support your spine and your body, then it's going to go back to where it was. So that's my goal is let's get them out of pain, get them moving in the right direction where they can do some things on their own to kind of take control of their health and keep it from getting bad again.
So I got a question. So what are some of those things you would tell people just as like preventative or just good things of health-wise to do to try to keep your posture and things? There's certain daily things people should do?
So like if let's say you said you sit a lot all day.
Yeah.
Okay, one, like if you're at a computer, you need to make sure the monitor is up to where you're not like having to look down, even like if you're on a laptop where you're having to look down like this all day long. You also need to make sure like you've got some support behind your back, because if your back's slouched like this, then obviously your neck's going to be like this. Whereas if you've got something supporting your back, you're going to tend to sit up more upright. And that will help with like neck and shoulder stuff and even low back stuff. Another thing you can do, not everybody can get a standing desk. You know, sometimes some people have desks that can stand and lower. What you could do is, even if you don't have a standing desk, kind of help stretch out your legs, move the chair out of the way, and you could just get something soft like a pillow or a towel or something, put under one knee and just get in a kneeling position where it'll stretch that hip out, and then do that in 5 minutes, do the other side that way. Or just get up and, I mean, just
move around,
even a 30-second walk, just walking around here for 30 seconds, come back to your desk will break up the sitting like this all day long.
Right.
And there's different exercises that we do in our office where it's like, hey, if you're at a desk, every hour, do this exercise for your upper back, do this exercise for your neck, because those muscles are not being used when you're like this all day long.
Right.
So that's kind of things are off the top of my head, I would say. Now, if you're somebody that's standing or lifting, then that's a whole different thing. It's like you need to learn how to, okay, how do I bend over? How do I squat down to lift things, as opposed to learn how to sit.
Right.
So.
Well, one of the things I'm especially fascinated with your practice is you're not just for the physical well-being of your patients. You also do TCC talks. Talk about what TCC talks is and what are you trying to accomplish with that?
Okay, and really my passion for this, and I feel like it's going really well so far. We've had people come that was a financial advisor. We've had a realtor. We've had a regenerative medicine doctor come. And what my goal is especially for my patients, give those patients, here maybe another area of your life that I'm not an expert in, but I have friends who are experts, or people that I know that I can come and have them come do a talk and give you the information to be able to be successful in that part of your life. Or even with the healthcare people like the regenerative medicine doctor, the functional medicine doctor, the orthopedic that I'm going to have, my goal is in this small town is like, let people know, hey, there are healthcare providers that will all work together to find what you need and to help, because there's things that people need that I can't do. But if I can help you find somebody that can do that, and we can work together to kind of co-manage, and I think patients, it builds more trust in the healthcare community, I believe. And so that's my goal, is just one, deliver more value to my patients in just bringing in other experts, but then also creating value and I guess people having confidence in the healthcare community in this area.
And you patterned this similar to TED Talks, correct?
I don't know. I think that's where I got the name from.
Okay.
Similar,
but I mean, it makes sense. Twin City Chiropractic.
They do have experts. They do have experts in their field come and do talks. So that's kind of what I kind of inspired it. I would guess you would say that. So it's just me trying to reach out and get the experts that I think in certain fields, or people that, like I've had people that were like, weren't even on my list of people to contact, that contacted me about, hey, I think what I have to talk about would be beneficial. So we just add them to the queue. So we do it once a month. We'll have that on. It's either like a Thursday or Tuesday night. I'll do it. And so it's open to anybody that wants to come. You don't have to be a patient. You can just be a person in the community. Is it
live in person via
It's in
Zoom?
person. Yeah, it's live in person. Yeah. I hadn't been able to record them and do Zoom yet. So, well,
nice.
I mean, that may be an idea.
That'd be good. Yeah.
I know a guy over here that should maybe help you out in the future.
You know a guy?
Yeah.
So in a nutshell, talk to us about how people can contact you. Are you even accepting new patients? Website or social media? Talk about how we can contact you.
So you can contact me. Our phone number is 318-582-5029. You can call our office. I I respond to any message on Instagram, on Facebook. I usually respond to those. My staff may respond, but I'm usually the one that will get that and then respond to you. You can contact us any of those ways to make an appointment. We're taking new patients. And we'll work. Some people's schedules like, hey, I can only come in after 3 o'clock. I can only come in after 4. I can only come in before 8 o'clock. So it's like, we try to work around people's schedule to be able to get them in, especially for that new patient appointment, because it may take a little bit longer. So I want to be able to spend more time with them without having to be rushed for them to get to work or, get home in the afternoon. So
I want to go back to the compression sleeves that you offer. What you do you do it in your office, and you also have taken it to corporate locations, correct?
Yeah, I go to businesses in the area, and I'll offer it for free to like the employees on Fridays, just kind of like a feel-good Friday. So I come out and give them a 10, 15-minute session on that, just to, one, as a way to just say thank you for the businesses in the community, but also it's a way for those business owners to be able to give back to their staff and like, hey, we appreciate you. Here's what we're going to bring this guy in and let him do that for you. So
if you come to Origin on Forsyth, can you call me so I can?
I've been there once.
I need to.
Yeah.
You need to get the memo.
Yeah,
I'll have to let you know next time I come. Yeah.
All right. So your final parting words of what you want people to learn from Twin City Chiropractic is you come to see you, and what is going to happen?
We'll make your life better.
Okay.
So that's the goal, is wherever you're at, we can always improve, and we may not be able to make it back to 100% healthy of however you were, but we can make your life better and help you achieve the goals that you want. So.
And the best way to contact is your phone number. Say that one more time, please.
318-582-5029.
All right.
Awesome.
This has been Small Business Stories. We appreciate you tuning in from the Monroe Chamber of Commerce.
Thank y'all.